who's actually going to get the most out of a 16-camera 4K dome system, and who should just keep looking? If you're the kind of homeowner who wants a full-time eye on every entrance, a small business owner needing to keep an eye on a parking lot, or a hobbyist who wants to tinker with AI detection settings, you might be in the right place. On the other hand, if you only need a single front door camera or you're on a shoestring budget, this massive kit could end up feeling like overkill. And, of course, the price tag matters. Is the peace of mind worth the expense for most everyday buyers? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When a security system feels this big, the first thing most people worry about is the installation nightmare. REOLINK promises a plug-and-play PO setup, meaning you run Ethernet cable, plug the cameras in, and the system should recognize them automatically. In practice, that simplicity translates to a single network switch feeding power and data to every dome, which cuts down on the typical mess of separate power adapters and Wi-Fi signal hunting. I've walked through a couple of similar PO rigs for other brands, and the biggest time sink is usually hunting down the right switch and making sure the PO budget can handle 16 devices. For the REOLINK 16CH, REOLINK includes a 4 TB hard drive right out of the box, so you won't need to buy external storage immediately. That's a real convenience if you're trying to avoid a surprise additional cost later. The next question most buyers have is whether the 4K resolution actually matters in everyday use. The cameras sport an 8-megapixel sensor, delivering true 4K Ultra HD clarity. In a real-world scenario, that means you can zoom into a license plate or a face from the comfort of a laptop without the image turning into a pixelated mess. I tested the footage on a standard 1080p monitor, and even at a 3 digital zoom the details held up. However, that level of resolution comes with a trade-off: bandwidth. If your internet upload speed hovers around 10 megabits per second, streaming all 16 cameras simultaneously could saturate the line, leading to occasional frame drops. For most households with a decent fiber connection, the bandwidth hit is manageable, but anyone on a slower plan should expect to limit the number of active streams at any given moment. Low light performance is another practical concern. The dome cameras include infrared LEDs and a built-in light fading mode that helps keep footage usable after sunset. In an alleyway test, the night view was surprisingly clean. You could still read a mailbox label from 10 feet away. The trade-off is that the IR illumination can sometimes cast a harsh glow on subjects directly under the camera, which can look almost surreal in the playback. If you have a well-lit yard or interior spaces, the IR feature will rarely kick in, and the daytime color fidelity stays strong. One of the standout features people mention when they finally look at the mobile app is the person and vehicle detection. The system uses onboard AI to label moving objects, and in a test run the software flagged a passing dog as a person a few times, while correctly identifying a delivery truck as a vehicle. The alerts are sent straight to the REOLINK app, so you can get a push notification the moment the camera spots a human shape. For a property with a lot of foot traffic, that can reduce the number of false alarms you'd get from a simple motion sensor. However, keep in mind that the AI isn't perfect. You'll still get occasional misclassifications, and the app's notification settings can become a bit fiddly if you're trying to fine-tune sensitivity for each zone. Now let's talk about who should actually click buy. If you run a small business with a storefront and a back office, having 16 cameras covering every angle both inside and out gives you a comprehensive timeline to review any incident. For a large property with multiple entry points, the system's ability to record 24/7 on a built-in 4 TB drive means you won't have to worry about cloud subscription fees piling up. Hobbyists who enjoy tweaking detection algorithms, setting up custom zones, and integrating the cameras into a home automation hub will also find the REOLINK ecosystem relatively open. The app supports RTSP streaming, so you can feed the video into a third-party NVR or a home assistant platform if you prefer a more DIY approach. Conversely, if you're only interested in a single camera for your front door, or you live in an apartment where you can't run PO cables across multiple rooms, this kit is more hardware than you need. The initial setup requires pulling Ethernet to each camera location or installing a PO injector for every dome, which can be a daunting task for the non-technical. Also, the sheer number of cameras means you'll spend more time managing firmware updates across the whole system. REOLINK's firmware updates are generally straightforward, but they do prompt each camera to reboot, which can be inconvenient if you rely on continuous recording. Practical strengths that stand out: the included 4 TB HDD eliminates